Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is gearing up for a pivotal journey to Washington, D.C. His mission, obviously to secure additional aid for Ukraine. As he prepares to address the UN General Assembly, Zelensky's itinerary includes crucial meetings with key US figures. But here's the catch. He won't be delivering a speech before the US Congress. Instead, he is limited to meetings with small groups of congressmen. Hi and welcome, I'm your host Vedika. Let's begin with a video report. Zelensky's upcoming visit to the US promises significant encounters, with US President Joe Biden topping the list. His agenda also features engagements with lawmakers on Capitol Hill and a pit stop at the Pentagon for discussions with Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. These meetings couldn't come at a more critical juncture as Zelensky pushes for Congress to approve a hefty $24 billion in additional funding to bolster Ukraine's military efforts well into the next year. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, the highest-ranking US official to set foot in Ukraine since the summer counteroffensive began, recently unveiled a new package of security and humanitarian assistance worth a substantial $1 billion during a surprise visit to Kiev. Beyond this, the Biden administration is mulling over the provision of long-range missiles known as ATACMS to Ukraine. Zelensky has been clamoring for these missiles for a while as they have the potential to disrupt Russian military logistics well beyond the front lines. The decision on this critical matter is expected shortly. Zelensky's Washington sojourn isn't his maiden voyage in pursuit of support. His previous visit in December saw him passionately appealing to Congress and the American public to fortify assistance for Ukraine's battle against Russia's invasion. Back then, Ukraine's fight hung in the balance, and Zelensky underscored the pivotal role of international support. Zelensky's office maintains a policy of not disclosing foreign travel plans beforehand for security reasons. As a result, they have yet to officially confirm his upcoming visit to the US. Meanwhile, the White House has opted to remain tight-lipped about the details. However, if reports by the Financial Times hold true, Zelensky's itinerary will notably lack an address to the US Congress. During this visit, he is set to meet President Biden, visit Capitol Hill, but only engage with small groups of congressmen, sans a congressional speech. This signals a notable decline in Zelensky's stature in the eyes of the US establishment. As Zelensky prepares for his upcoming diplomatic venture, uncertainties loom large. The geopolitical stage has seen North Korean leader Kim Jong-un pledging support to Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Russian army, further complicating the international landscape. Meanwhile, Ukraine's forces press on with their counteroffensive, though the substantial gains initially hoped for remain elusive. Notably, the Western support that once shone brightly on Ukraine appears to be dimming. Former US President Donald Trump's remarks highlight this shift as he observes that American media has largely fallen silent on Ukraine, signifying a waning interest in the conflict. With Ukraine's counteroffensive struggling to make significant headway, suggestions have emerged that it may be time to explore diplomatic solutions rather than prolonging the current stalemate. The sluggish pace of Ukraine's counteroffensive shouldn't come as a surprise, given its limitations in modern aviation and long-range strike capabilities. The real question at hand is whether the West is providing sufficient support to Ukraine's military endeavors. Regrettably, the answer is leaning towards no. While military aid since February 2022 has been undeniably vital, it falls short of what's truly required for Ukraine to execute a successful operation against a well-armed and deeply entrenched foe. In the face of waning Western support, Zelensky embarks on his mission to secure additional aid from the West, placing the US at the center of his diplomatic endeavors. However, the future remains veiled, leaving us to wonder whether he will succeed in persuading the West to bolster Ukraine's cause. As Zelensky undertakes this critical journey, the ominous specter of Russia's invasion continues to loom large over Ukraine's future. The evolving dynamics among international actors, coupled with the ongoing battle, raise questions about the path this conflict will take and the broader implications it holds for global security. Zelensky's quest for aid stands at a defining moment for Ukraine. With Western support dwindling, this diplomatic journey to Washington, D.C. carries immense significance. Whether it will rejuvenate Ukraine's prospects or cast a darker shadow over its future remains to be seen.